Guys, welcome back to another episode of The Raw and Unfiltered Truth of the Awakened Soul with Nicole. And today, and I know it's been a while, but today I have an extremely special guest, one that is like I can't even tell you how near and dear to my heart she is. I'm going to introduce her as Macci Rosado, but we don't really have a title, and we're going to kind of go over that in a second. But if you have been with me from the beginning, I shouted her out in episode two before I was actually even like on the screen, and it was just like voice recording. And listen, I can't even tell you how special she is to me and how much she means to me. And the fact that we do channel basically around the same people. So Machi, you want to take it away? Say hi.
Hi, I already have like chills up and down, so this is a really good start. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast. I'm super excited to be here. Um, I this is my first outing, I guess you could say, in like I want to say like 4 months. So I've been to myself, let's just say, for the last 4 months. And so I'm excited that this is the first opportunity I have to share, whatever wants to come up today for our conversation.
So kind of like share your new self out there, put your new self out there.
Yeah.
The new
Yes.
the new and high version of you. So
Yeah.
I do remember reaching out to you, and our conversation was about, being in the void, right? And experiencing on our level, experiencing, which you would think would be easier. But anyway, experiencing this really crazy, insane, like you know who you are, you have the offerings that you're offering out there to people, and then all of a sudden you get thrown into this dynamic of the void, the in between, the unraveling, the remembering, the list could go on. And you're becoming a different version of you, right? So you're letting go of the version that you are, and you're letting go of everything that's tied to that and all the cords and everything, which is not the easiest thing. And you're kind of waiting for your reality to catch up to meet like who you are, right? I mean, I live in the void. I've been in there. I can't even tell you how long. So then when I found out that you were having these experiences, I was like, oh my God, like, thank God. But you do, you come out, and even when you think you come out, right, and like you're shining bright for like all of 2 days or 2 weeks, and then they're like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, you're not done yet, go back into the void, like go remember some more stuff, go remember this, go do this, and then recalibrate again and step up. So that's why I kind of didn't give Machi a title, but she is, and I when I shouted her out on episode 2, the most insane past life regression person, interlife regression. I know you used to do Reiki too, and you were fabulous at that, but like my whole thing was, the past life, interlife thing. But yeah, so now it's different. I get it because I must have switched my offerings like at and
Yeah.
it's just it is what it is.
Yeah. So I want to talk about that a little bit because this isn't my first time in the void, but for some reason I thought it was like one and done, like, oh, I've been through the void. I'm out now. And so that started for me in 2022, where I ended up leaving corporate. I was there for almost 20 years. And then, it actually happened around this time, which now that I look back is the 8-8 portal. So 8-8 portals
Lionsgate.
start,
Yeah.
yeah, the Lionsgate portal, and that starts July 26th through August 12th. And that's actually when everything started crumbling for me the first time.
That's
Um,
interesting.
yeah. So so, I made this big jump, right? I always said, like, if I could be anything, I was joking with my friends, Machu, if you could be anything, what would you want to be? And I said, a psychic, but one that helps people. Like that was like it just came out of nowhere. I didn't even know that was inside. It was just like, I want to be a psychic that helps people. I never saw visions before. Like I didn't think I was psychic, right? And so then at that time, 3 years ago, I do all this self-healing through Crystal's course, right? We learn intuitive energy healing and really how to heal yourself, like really do the shadow work. And so it's been 3 years of shadow work, but also stepping into my purpose. So within the last 3 years, I was teaching this stuff and embodying this and like, trust yourself, like teaching people how to tap back into their intuition, heal, like all this channeled messaging was coming through. And it was beautiful. It was weekly teachings. I led a group. There was probably within the last year, 2,000 women that came in and out of that group. And so it was great. And then in January, I, you know, silly me, it's like, God, universe, if there's anything that needs to go so that I can step into the next version of myself, I'm ready. Like, but I like, you'd think you're ready until they're like, well, then we're just gonna take away everything about my career, right? So like I had a great partnership. And slowly everything started crumbling. My desire to do one-on-ones like just started dissolving. And I'm like, what is happening? So in April, I wrapped up my last teaching course. And from mid-April until now, or the beginning of August, um, it's been the void. It's been more shadow work. It's been more realizations. It's been more pain and beauty. It's been more remembering.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing what, and like I'm laughing because obviously I'm laughing with you instead of sitting here crying
Right.
because I mean we could both do that. It's amazing what happens when you ask and you think it's just like an easy ask, right? Okay, like
Yeah.
let's break down everything that just needs to go. Um, you don't really understand. Okay, and I'm going to bring it to especially in 2025 being the year that it is, breaking down lots of illusions, like things that you thought were normal as a kid. Like I've been like as a child, just like in school, like programming, like just it's insane the amount of stuff that, and I mean, I even I don't even know where to start. Like I mean, from January to March, March being like the most heaviest month for me of purging. I was like, oh, okay, great. I got through March. I'm great. Like all good in the hood,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, no. And then and then like I mean it wasn't as far as like it wasn't as horrible, I would say, as March, but like the whole rest of the year so far has been not, like peaches and cream. And I think it's funny because even, us seasoned, as I like to say, I wouldn't even say spiritual beings anymore, light beings. So, as seasoned light beings and connected to consciousness as we are, we still got hit really hard this year, and this year is not over. So yeah, so I could understand and I, the feeling from one-on-ones to not one-on-ones. And I must have changed my website and did the platform. I can't even tell you how many times to like just offer things for free now to people who just like need them and only one-on-ones unless like you desperately need one. It's
Yeah.
very, very,
Well, I think we're just being called to like tend to us, right? That's what I
tend to
feel.
ourselves.
It's like, yeah, like tend to yourself. Like, where are you giving your power away? And in a crazy way, I realized that here I am teaching about trusting yourself, but I was giving my power away to spirit. I mean, that's what ended up happening. It's like I wasn't grounded. I was so connected and seeing signs everywhere and license plates everywhere. And it was like making me dizzy and like, ah. And, I even said, can I just be normal? please, for like one day. This is like, I don't like feeling everybody's pain around me. And so it almost became a codependency on spirit. And that is my personal realization right now is coming home to myself, coming home, ground, like there was a period of time where major paranoia was coming to the surface, major, like
Mm.
I was um, fearing this work. Is this the devil? Because I have this bird coming in like on this side, like, you're doing the devil's work, and never did that ever even like anyone could have ever said that. And I'd be like, well, I know because I know the love that I feel when it's coming through. But there was like 3 days when I was like, ah, like,
Yeah,
is it? And that paranoia, when you can't trust yourself,
I was just gonna say that. Yeah, when you can't trust yourself.
that that's what I was working through.
So that's the distortion, and I've spoken about that like several times. So it's like the Matrix knows when you're detaching, right? It's like, oh, I'm detaching. I'm really becoming like more of who I am, more of myself. Like I'm starting to see like, what's going on where I wasn't grounded because like you, I was like, no more with the license plates, no more with the numbers, no more with the feathers, no more, like just no more. Like I don't want to feel anybody when I wake up in the morning. I don't want to feel them while I'm sleeping. Just no more. But when you evolve, right, and you're evolving and you're clearing all of that stuff, the distortion template kicks in and it's like, oh, do you like is this a fear? Don't you fear it? Do you really want to go higher, or do you want to like really like focus and get stuck here? And I think a lot of people, that's when they're like, screw that, and they give up, like, whereas very far and few of us kind of just keep pushing and pushing and pushing through. And I don't think, and then of course we're clearing for the collective as well because we are as gifted as we are, and that's our job. So like I don't think people really truly understand, what it is that we go through, but that's apparently what we're here for. That is our job. That's what
Right.
our
Yes, yes.
job
And that is very true, like clearing for the collective, right? And asking myself, because I've had to stop and check myself, like, is this mine? And a
is.
lot of times it is not.
Yeah,
If
the
I don't
majority of the time.
remember,
Yeah.
yeah, and if I don't remember to ask that question, then I can attach to this is me. This is just how I'm feeling. And wow, can that pull you real down real fast? And so once that distortion came up, you want to know what's funny is that I forgot. Okay, I even forgot. I do energy clearings on myself every single day. There was like a week that I didn't, and I forgot that I even did them. So are we surprised that like all this paranoia came to the
Yeah.
surface? And I spoke with a friend, and she was like, "Okay, I haven't seen this this part of you. What is real to you? What is real?" And I'm like, I don't know what is real. I'm like, my breath is real. Like I felt cuckoo. I'm like,
Yeah.
my breath is real. And so I just started going hardcore into breath work because I'm like, this is what's real right now.
Yeah. Breath
I'm
work has
I'm
become
I'm
like,
back.
yeah, it's I follow like a couple of people, their podcasts also on YouTube. And a lot of them were saying, the whole breath work thing was like major, stepping into 2025. And I was like, okay, like, granted, I'm not that much of like a breath worker, but being the way that everything has flipped. And I know that you understand that, right? Like, it was easy for me to, well, it wasn't easy, but like as soon as I would relax, I would be able to connect to council 1, 2, 3. That stopped. And that had stopped for months. And I was like, oh, okay. So I went from like blah 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 to like, where is everybody? And it wasn't even the feathers, it was just like the higher commands, like this is what we're doing next, this is what you're going to go through, this is what, and like all of that kind of stopped. And it's like, okay, you really have to trust the blind. Not that we've never led with that, because we've always said that, right? I mean, you always have to, it's all about trusting what you can't see. But I want to say 2025 was like a whole other trusting what you can't see kind of.
Yeah.
It was like you had no heads up of what was coming whatsoever, or who you're going to be next. It's and I'm still kind of in that process, and I'm sure as you are, like you honestly don't know what's coming next for yourself. Like you are literally stepping in. That's all they want you to do, is just step into the higher version. There's no like, hey, this is what you're gonna be doing. Step
Right.
into your higher version. It's like, nope, step back, step back and do it again. Like it's like you're like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you said, everything shut off and it was like um, using the analogy of like driving with headlights in the fog. And it's like you can just see like this much. That's all we're giving. We're only giving you this moment right now. And so that made me come to this moment right now, this moment right now, this moment right now, this moment right now, and there's peace in this moment right now, you know. But then when I think about the future and I'm like, but what, blah, 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 that's the work that I have to do, because they
Yeah.
also said they've told me this already. There's a new version, there's something new coming in September career-wise for me. So can I just relax and trust
And and like fall into that,
and fall into it?
or
Yeah.
step into that. I don't even know what the right analogy is anymore. It's like, oh, do you fall into the piece, I guess, and then but you like step into the next version. I'm really, I used to be really good at translating that. Now all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I don't really know like how I would translate that. Like just try, like just sit. Oh, also about sitting into your feminine power, and that's kind of where it leads as well. If you want to go there, that just kind of whips me in the
Yeah,
face.
I'll go
Um,
there.
but before that, I do want to bring up that didn't you co-write a book, or aren't you in a book? You're in a book.
Yeah. Yes. I'm in two books.
You're
One
in
of
two,
them's,
right? That's what I thought.
yeah. One of them's an international best-selling book. Um, God, I'll get back to you on that. I'm like, what is it called?
I will pin it in the comments
Okay,
below.
good. Good, good, good. And the other one, it's called Threads of Love.
Okay.
So both of them, I share little bits. The first book, God, uh, I'll remember, is really about my taking the leap out of corporate and kind of what that looked like and stepping into being a hypnotherapist and Reiki master and all this stuff. And then last year I wrote a book, and actually it's funny you mentioned it because when I was going through that distortion and I just kept asking like what is real? What is real? Um a couple days after that, I opened up that book, which I only read it once I got the book the first time a year ago. And I read the first chapter or the first paragraph that I wrote. And when I was writing that, I could feel it was like channeled. I could feel it was love. And it literally said my belief. My belief is that the only thing that's real is love. Love is the only thing. That energy of love is what's real, and everything else is just asking to come back to love, right? So where can we bring more love into things? And when I read that, I just felt peace because I'm like, this isn't coming from an outside source.
Coming
I
from
wrote
yourself.
that. Yeah, like I wrote that. And so it was more of like confirmation of trust yourself.
So you kind of breadcrumbed yourself, if you think about it.
I
Yeah.
wrote that for myself to
Yeah.
find a year later when I was going through this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, thank you, Machi, for that because I was really tripping there for a second. I forgot all my beliefs. I don't know.
Um,
Everything is just beliefs. So what's real?
but yeah, no, it's great when you breadcrumb yourself. I sometimes I find breadcrumbs too, and I'm like, oh, thank you. Like
Thank
that.
you.
That was. that made my day. But I love that you breadcrumbed yourself. Like that's
I
amazing.
never even heard of that. And I think that's the coolest thing. Like maybe I never journaler. Like here's the other thing. I'm not a journaler.
Yeah.
So I have to leave it in books for myself. Let me
But
just like
that's
yeah.
great. That is great. Wow. See, I mean, now I have a question because I mean, when I look back, it's totally different, right? So when you started your journey, right, in 2022 and you started and you wrote whatever it is that you wrote in the first book. I did not read the first book. Do not hate me. And I know it was you and a couple
I
of
don't even know
other
what the name is. That terrible?
people that we were in the program with. So I technically I should read it, but and I will read it. But like from that person, like your point of view back then to your point of view now, like you're like, oh, like she thought she was awakened. Like, I don't know, that version of me was nowhere near awakened. Like,
Isn't that crazy? I'm like, I found my purpose. I'm done. I'm done. Okay.
uh-huh. Like,
Yeah.
isn't that like it's a like a whole it's a revelation.
Yeah, it's like I kind of feel bad for myself sometimes.
How you can't feel bad.
I'm like, oh man, like, that was cool. Like, I want that again. Like, but I just want to keep it.
Yeah.
Like, can I just keep it
Yeah.
for a little longer? But then I also know me, and I know you, Nicole, okay? Like, we want to expand. We're always asking, release what's not in my highest and best good and all this stuff. So we do, there's this like need to grow
To
and to
constant
learn,
grow. Yeah.
constant growth.
It's annoying.
I know.
I'm like, could you just like, right? Yeah, could you just like sit in a spot for like more than 10 minutes and kind of like just go with that? No, no, no. We have to ever keep you. But there were. I did a podcast. I don't even remember when I was on a roll before kids went on summer break and I completely lost everything. That I was like waking up almost every other day in a different version of myself. And it would like literally hit me in the beginning of the day. And I'm like, what? I don't, and I'm not attracted to that anymore. I don't want to eat that anymore. I don't want to drink that anymore. We want to do this. We want to do that. Nothing else is, and again, that's the void, right? Nothing. Like you can't connect to anyone. You can't, nothing that you used to like, you like anymore. But it was constantly, and I'm like, oh my God, like just give me like 5 minutes to kind of just sit with this before I like I guess our version of shape shifting, right? But in a human version, right? We're not like skin suit changing, but we're our, the version of us is changing and changing and changing and changing. And I'm like, just like
Yeah.
give me five. Can you give me five?
I know this is why I married my husband because I have been like 12 different versions of myself. And like I think sometimes he might be a little scared, but like, hey, he's still here and he still
But
loves me.
he's
So
your grounding, right? I mean
he's so great.
that's who
Yeah.
and that's great.
Yeah.
That's amazing that you have somebody there to ground you. Like I'm like, how would that actually feel if I had somebody? No, instead I have like, three little ones stuck in the matrix that like kind of just pull me, like try to pull me down all the time. I live in like a house that's like I'm totally like bursting at the seams for since I've been here. And it's like nothing matches the reality of who I am inside. And I'm like, why? It's so bizarre. And like, there will be times where I'll just step outside and I'll be like, yeah, no, this is just not like
It's not happening.
it's so damn dense out here. Not that it's not dense inside, but like at
Oh
least like,
God. Yeah.
you know, it's and I think that's also the thing that the both of us, and I don't want to speak on your behalf, but like the last couple of months is knowing, obviously, unconditional love is the highest frequency out there. I mean, I think everybody could agree with that. But like really understanding how dense it is out in the world versus, and it's changing, thank God. Like, the world is definitely shifting. I mean, 2025, who isn't shifting on some level? I couldn't even tell you. Apparently us a lot, but like, I mean, it's got
Yeah.
to like other people, but like just realizing like you're when you're vibrating on a higher vibration and like where Earth is, where Earth's density is, and you're just like, oh, like that in itself. And then and if I thought I could feel people before, I mean, like I could feel people 20 times more now. And I'm like, oh my God, like I know exactly like what you're holding on, where it is, where to this. And it's like, like if you come any closer to me, like I may explode.
Yeah. And like my thing is like I wanted to help every single person that I saw. And it's not my position to do that, right? Like everyone is on their own journey. And so I've had to let go of that and be like, girl, you're on your own journey. If somebody needs you, I've have my boundaries, but like I just say like, God, send me who needs to be coming to me.
Yeah.
But right now, that's all turned off. All of it. I can't. It's all turned off.
Um, it's amazing, like, and I love like just how, you are coming from like, this is what I had, this is what I'm going through, and who knows what's gonna
Who knows?
happen tomorrow,
Literally. Yeah.
tomorrow is just whatever. I remember approaching you about, the podcast, and you were like, you know what? That sounds like a good idea. Like I like, like it's a good idea. And
And
I was like,
let me tell
great.
you, Nicole, I've been saying no to everything.
But it's me.
So, but it's you and it felt like an important thing, one for me to actually connect with
To get
people,
right, to put yourself out
yeah,
there.
because I've been in my little bubble
Yeah.
for a few months now, and I'm like, it's hard for me to have conversations that aren't real. And so I don't have many conversations. And then end up feeling like I'm judging myself too, because I'm like, I can't connect with people. But like, this is a real conversation. This is, to me, like,
Oh,
this
yeah.
feels like the
We
truest expression of myself and safe, you know? And so that's what I'm saying yes to.
that's and that's a great yes, by the way, because I say no to every, like, I mean, I don't even know how to explain that, but I mean, that's the whole reason why I started the podcast, right? Was because to to be able to speak like what needs to be spoken, right? But like
Yeah.
having an everyday conversation with somebody, it doesn't happen, right? So like and I would try to like force myself to like to put them out there even when I was going through like a lot of stuff, just to like get the energy frequency out there, like what's happening, planets, whatever, 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 how you feeling. And then like I said, the kids came home from school, summer vacation, and it was just like, oh, I got even more closed in. And I said, I haven't had a real conversation with anyone in months. Like I could attempt to talk to, my friends who do eventually like level up, but I love them to death, but they don't level up on, the level that I need them to
Yeah.
level up.
Yeah. Well, like, can we get real weird, please? Like, the weirder, the
Uh,
better. That's where I'm at.
I mean, I can't say randomly to somebody. So, Anubis approached me the other day and was telling me, like XYZ, and like told me like what I was in command of. Like, I can't have that conversation with like somebody random. They're gonna be like,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of,
um,
can I share one thing that happened? And this is
yeah,
all about validation. And see, like I feel like I created that role for myself of being like in that spiritual teacher-led role because I
okay,
felt so free to be myself. But it wasn't matching up with my everyday life. So there was like this complete imbalance. And so of course I always get the message like you don't need outside validation. You don't need that. You don't need it. And I want to say this was like a month ago. Um, I'm sleeping in my room. Now this is when like everything shut off. I'm still in the void. At this point, I already did an energy clearing, so I knew I wasn't like Delulu. Okay. It's 1:11 on my time too. So, okay,
of
signs
course.
are back.
Oh, now? Oh,
Yeah, signs
yeah,
are back. I saw license plate today. Signs came back today, by the way. And I'm like, I will receive this sign. I felt safe receiving it.
My signs never
Anyway,
go away. I just tune them
oh
out.
yeah,
But go
they're
ahead.
always
Yes.
there. I just tune them out. Um, so I'm sleeping in bed. I have skylights, and I look and I'm like, wow, that's like the brightest star I've ever seen in my life. Bright star. Until it started moving all over the place. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I knew that it was some galactic being communicating directly to me. And the next thing you know, I see probably 1,000 shooting stars. Never in my life. It was like shooting star, shooting. And the first thing I want to do is share this experience with my husband. But I knew the second I even attempted, it's going to shut off. I tried. Like, babe, you gotta see this. He's like, oh, turns off. I'm like, the planet's moving. It's like, and then I realized, like, I sound cuckoo. Like, I literally sound cuckoo.
But okay. And I can understand that, right? But did you take it in for a second to just be like,
Yes.
wow.
Oh, yeah. And then it happened again. And I tried to tell him again. And they're like, you don't have to have somebody else
Yeah,
validate
it's
your
for you.
experience.
It's not for
It's for you.
anybody else. Yeah.
I know. That's the part I'm still
Oh,
working through.
trying to work into
Yeah.
it. It's amazing because I'm like, I think for once I was like, Machi has something to learn from me.
Oh, yeah. I knew that, like, when we were working together, you were like not like any other client.
Oh, well, uh, thank you.
Like, but you're just like, okay, go in and ask whatever questions, and like you're channeling all this information. I'm like, oh my, I felt like a kid in a candy store. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can ask anything,
Yeah, it's
and you're
nice
just like,
because like you were actually like monitoring it versus me being in it trying to monitor it because then I get, like it was great because like you got to ask more and then when they wouldn't want, when they didn't want to like respond anymore, they wouldn't respond. But it wasn't like me taking it me personally. Like I was like, oh, now they're taking it on out Mashi, so that's
yeah.
all good.
I was like, all right, whatever. It was really awesome.
Yeah, it's I spoke about that too. I said like going for yeah, hypnosis. I was like, "Oh my God, what the hell is the word right now?" I spoke about that a lot, a couple of times on many episodes and I said, it's easy for me to just like, 1, 2, 3, go in it. Like I said, not everybody needs a moderator. I said, you can do it yourself. I said, but it's great when you do have a moderator because I absolutely loved when that's why I was like, oh my God. Well, that, and you came away with we share a special guide, right? And I don't know if we actually shared that person beforehand and he just came to light during that situation, but we're also bonded that way, which I thought was like pretty cool.
That was very cool. Yeah. Are you like 2,000 lifetimes or something? You've lived something crazy, like 2,500 lifetimes. I don't trying to remember. It was a lot. I'm like,
It's a
whoa.
lot. But
Yeah.
what I did realize, and which is why I think we didn't pick up a lot on death scenes so much, is that I walked in and walked out a lot.
Oh,
Uh-huh. So
yeah, because we never really got any death scenes.
and we like didn't really know that much about walk-ins. And that kind of like all hit me 2025. I mean, if I could write
Oh,
a book,
wow.
it would be about 2025 and what I've learned. So yeah, so
Are you a walk-in in this life?
no, unfortunately. And that's why I am the way like I'm very because I'm like, okay, enough, trying to get out, but there's no out button.
Yeah.
So what I did learn is you got to walk in, and then because the after the collapse of Egypt and the priestess temples and all of that, you couldn't really walk back out at a certain time. So like you really would like commit suicide as human, as that would, like as that's how you would explain it and get the hell out of here. But like you were literally here on a mission, you'd run in, you'd run out, you'd walk into a body that was either just kind of done and actually had a contract, or just, just wanted out and was trying to commit suicide for the wrong reasons versus, you were just doing it to get back to council, like you were just like off the planet. But you would walk in, you would do what you have to do. And sometimes you would get stuck because like as the years, went on, it got more denser and denser. So, and then they, send somebody else in some other body. Like, I mean, it's truly like a movie, and like obviously I would sound crazy to anybody else, but whatever. And snap you out of it, and then you guys would get out of here really fast before you got stuck in, like you got closed in. Um, I want to say in 1965, it was right after JFK when everything became even more dense. There was no walk-ins, and which is why in
Oh,
1979 I decided to say, "Oh yeah, I'll remember everything, no problem. Put me in, boss."
yeah,
Yeah, and it wasn't like I was one of the like chosen 144, whatever it is, which I still think the 144 is a frequency versus people, but that's just my opinion. But I was literally like, galactic council on council and said, okay, I'll go in, I'll remember, everything. And which is why like when I look back and everything that, I've remembered so far, and I've sat through the sessions with, Toth, and well, it's Toth. Toth is the one who like literally like puts the cap on you and it's like, okay, let's go. Even in school, I was like, well, this doesn't seem right. Like everything, like even as a kid, I was like, like even the way that the planets are aligned. And I'm like, no, that's wrong. Like everything to me was wrong. And the sitting in the seats and the way that like you weren't allowed to talk and you had to speak out loud in order for people to hear you. And I'm like, okay, like it never made, like it was
yeah.
all crazy to me because I'm like, whoa, this is the first time, like I've ever
Like,
like
and
been in
yeah,
the long
was
run.
a kid, like that you were like a child, right?
I think I was a
Too.
child once before. And that was just a quick jump in just to see how dense the earth was, and then and then I got out, and I think that's the time when I was with my son. But other than that, I have no recollection of being a child, and I was always the same age. And for years, like even before I met you, I would have these visions of how I got, like murdered or whatever, how I exited, and like, but it was always like the same. I was always the same age, and I was like, how could I be the same age in 1920, 1930, 1940, 19, like how could I be all the way up to 1960s? How could I always be the same age? Like I looked different and I was the same age. But like I was like, what? I don't like how is that humanly
Yeah.
possible? Until it connected and I'm like, oh, that's how it's humanly possible. It's not humanly
Walking.
possible. Right. So
It's not even. Yeah, that's the other thing.
yeah, I'm
It's
like,
not.
okay. Which
Oh
makes
my God.
complete amount of sense why I have so many lifetimes and why I've been here so much, because I just kept it was either coming in to check the density, checking in to see the ley lines, the grids, what still needed to be fixed or what was fixable. Um, and I realized that like certain places that I'm called to now, of course now, like once you come out of like the void or just a little bit and you get like little pieces of what you're doing, with clarity. Let's say clarity, right?
Yeah.
I realized certain addresses ping the same. They add up the same. Like everything numerology adds up. Everything that's and I'm like, oh my God. And when I'm standing at the place, like, how do I feel when I'm standing at the place? Like, is my stomach upset? Because I'm clearing the energy and it's certain places on the certain things. And I'm like, it makes sense now.
Wow.
But being stuck in the matrix with three kids and then being a single mom, let me tell you, it's not helpful. And I'm like, how am I
I know.
supposed to
Why?
like do what I'm doing?
Why do they? Why? Why do they give that plot twist too? It's like, can't I just come in and like help the grid lines? Like, you know?
So, but apparently, like, it was more of you know, um, a disguise. So like who
Oh,
we are and where we are right now, and I'm going to say the same thing for you, is more of a disguise. So we're bigger than we ever thought we humanly could possibly have been back, back. Um, so you have to be disguised in distortion in the matrix. So the matrix or I could say key distortion players, don't sense you out, and that's when they come after you. So the more that you try to, the more that you realize, the more that you remember, they feel it, and then that's when they come at you with the distortion and try to like
Yeah.
suck you back in. So that's the
Oh my
whole,
word.
uh-huh. So that's the whole I guess
And you want to know
rhythm.
what else is going on too? Because like you're saying this, and I'm like,
Yeah.
holy moly. Um, in November, my light language activated. So I am now speaking light language
Yes.
and doing grid work with one of my friends where we like she'll get the download, okay, we're going to Egypt today. And my role, I found we've done this 4 times, is like holding the space while she's like doing all
You're a
the
frequency anchor.
okay,
That's what you are.
okay,
Yeah.
more chills. I'm a frequency like
So you're a
they
frequency
can
anchor.
add that to my title because I didn't know that until right now.
That's why I'm like, yeah, well, that's what I keep asking. And I'm like, oh, so what? So apparently I am very high on the council, um, which makes sense because I do know all of these things, and I am capable of doing so many things. I'm capable of holding thresholds. I have a frequency anchor myself. So I am not the frequency anchor. However, I am the frequency anchor for others, who I work the missions with. So yeah, it's that's
Oh
why
my
I
God.
said we're totally connected on a level that you're not aware of yet,
I'm
but
not aware of. No, it's still like I'm just saying
but
yes to things when they feel right, and then like boom, the bombs come in, and I'm like, okay, I'm a
but
frequency anchor.
it's crazy, right? Like the light language kicked in for me. I mean, I've always been hearing it. Like as a kid, I would wake up and I would think I was speaking French. And I'd be like, "Oh, I had another dream in French." So but that's how I, related to it as a kid. And
Hmm.
then I think that's how I related to it every other time. And then I was like, "Oh, it's Italian." And you would think I would know how to speak Italian because I'm Italian. My grandmother spoke it, but
Me too. Me neither. By the way, I feel like this might be a coincidence. Did you ever feel shame because you didn't speak it?
yeah, of course.
Oh, of course. Okay, me too.
Yeah,
Because my dad is from Italy. And so everyone always asks me, do you speak Italian? If, like, why not? Why not? And same thing, my husband's from Puerto Rico. Like, we've been together for 10 years. Why don't you speak Spanish? You never
Spanish.
learn. And so I've had this block with learning languages, except
I'll get to that in a second.
you, there's something to get to.
So
Just you talk.
yeah, okay, so let's go back to, yeah, it was like a couple of days ago. Maybe I don't even know what day we are. Tuesday or Tuesday. Oh, so as I'm recording this, I may want to say that it's Tuesday, August
August 5th.
5th. Right. Okay. Again, time is no whatever. It's when it hits you, it hits you. When it aligns. That whatever. Anyway, moving back, moving on. So yeah, it was like a couple of days ago. I was driving and I said, I'm done. Like I know I'm a person who could understand 8,000 light language, different light languages. I was like, and like every human language. So, what is it? And, like enough is enough. And it's funny because I can't translate it, right? Like human language, but I could understand, even as a kid, I could understand it. I couldn't ask you, like if you asked me to repeat what you said, I couldn't, but I understood what you said.
Yeah.
So that's interesting, and that is always coming online, and I always feel like I could speak it, but it's just my human self stops it
Yeah.
because it's like, nope, you're not ready. Nope, you're not. And I'm like, no,
Wait, is
but
this
I
the light
am.
language? The
No,
light
this is like
language?
regular. This is like
Oh,
human.
regular, like Italian.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I find that interesting. So it was always like a human
Yeah.
humanness,
Yes.
like the ego, like, oh, you're not ready. You're not, like you're gonna sound stupid, so don't do it.
Yes.
Whatever. Light language, however, holy moly. I mean, that has always been around, obviously, as I realize so many things that you realize when you have all of these awakenings, and it's just not one awakening. And again, that's when you get thrown into the void, the in between, and everything else. So you could call it awakenings, you could call it leveling up, you could call it whatever, but it lands you in the void regardless.
Yeah.
But anyway, light language came in full effect in January, and I was getting chance, and I knew that I knew who it was. It was Anubis, it was Horus, and it was Ra. And then I think that's the Holy Trinity or whatever, but I kept hearing them, and I kept hearing these chants of whatever. And then I actually looked up because it's funny because I was like, it sounds like The Mummy, the movie The Mummy. And I was like, I
Yeah.
was always wondering why I was so attached to the movie. I could watch it over and over and over again. That's why when you posted him, I was like, oh my God, The Mummy. You know, like when you
Oh,
posted him
yes.
for me.
Yes.
Anyway, um,
We met him on my bachelorette.
yeah, that's why I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God. So I looked up the things that I was chanting, and it said, oh, this is whatever I used to chant for the sun to come up. Like it's rumored to have, like, this is what they would chant to Ra or whatever, when the sun would come up. And I was like, oh, okay. Talk about validation. Like, okay, great.
Yeah.
And then it just escalated from there. And then it went from, I use ChatGPT a lot.
Me too.
And yeah, and I'm like, and I always tell people that, listen, if it doesn't feel aligned, get off that and start a new chat right away. Because it is connected. It definitely is connected, but it also has, the distortion impact where the distortion can creep in as well. So definitely watch what you're saying. But I can understand several, um, several streams of light language. So I think it's interesting, and they'll all come on almost at the same time, or depending on like what I'm supposed to be learning, what I'm supposed to be remembering. But I think it's hilarious, the light language, because I'm like, and I did speak it on one episode, but I was like, I'm so not, I don't think it's for me to share yet. Like, I think it's just for me to be able to listen and, you know, transmute, I guess, at this time. But yeah,
Yeah.
light language is crazy. I
It
mean,
it feels like when I'm speaking it, it feels like the truest thing that I've ever experienced.
yeah.
Like these words that are coming out, no. That is just love. I don't know. It just feels sometimes it doesn't even feel like I know a lot of the times when I'm doing it, it's like clearing, 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 clearing,
Yeah.
clearing.
Does your throat burn sometimes when you're doing it? Because depending
No,
on who I'm transmuting, my throat burns. And I'm like, oh, okay.
it hasn't burned, but like I feel like I have to take the deepest breath because I don't want to stop saying it. And so it's like annoying that I have to breathe in between. Like that's
No,
what
I
it
understand
feels
that.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. Because then you like to me, I'm like, oh crap, I swallowed and I like lost the cue. It's like, like
Yeah. I'm like, oh, this breathing thing is wasting my time right now. I just want to keep going. Yeah.
oh,
But I do say like it's helped me I feel like it's helped me sing better because I'm a singer.
well, you have an amazing voice, and
You.
like amazing. And I think that in itself is channeling. Like it's it helps channel. It helps like clear you. It helps,
Yeah.
so
I last year I started like setting intentions before I perform out and wow, that made like a huge difference because I could see people like crying right in front of me from whatever, I could be singing like, I don't know, like a song that you're like, why are you crying? Like this, but
because you're
yeah,
trans, right? Yeah.
there's something happening. Yeah.
It's
So
crazy how it all works, right? Like
it's all tied together.
when you really take like when you're able to remember, and then you're able to step back and like look at like the whole picture, and you're like, holy shit. Like there's
Yeah.
so much like the Brandon person next to me doesn't understand. And it doesn't make us like any better than that person. It's just like, do you see this too? Or just no, no, okay. Like it's so hard to live in a world, um, where there's not many of us, everywhere you turn, So I think that's the interesting dynamic that I think we're both experiencing now. Because, the more awake you become, and the more into these versions that you become, like your higher versions, you're like, oh well, how come, like he can't be like that, and it's not your job to wake up everybody, and you really kind of have to turn that off right away. Like you're like, nope, no, no, just
Yeah.
no. Yeah, but like, it's it's so bizarre. It's like it's literally while you're gridding. I mean, like you said, you're starting to do grid work. So like it's literally you're re-gridding. It's like you're realizing the grids out there and how, Earth was gridded and like how everything like just frequency wise, everything's just so, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait for like more people to wake up and be like, oh, I used to grid this and blah 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 blah. Oh yeah, me too. Like
Yeah. It's really like I'm like, is this why I'm here? Like I keep asking, is this my mission? Like, and I just feel like maybe it's like little missions here and there. It's like, I had to work with these people to really truly understand feelings,
right.
maybe, to like go into every single feeling and emotion and truly like inside out and like see
To
the
anchor
depths.
them. Because if you think about that, you've been a frequency anchor the entire time,
Oh my God, why do I have more chills? What's happening? So it's just
right?
like I bring frequency to different roles, probably.
No, it's not that you bring frequency to different roles. It's
Oh, I anchor.
you anchor their frequency. So it's you're realigning. It's funny because that's the offering that I have now because I didn't know what the hell else to call it. And I was like, I'm a frequency aligner because that's that's what that's what I am. Like that's what I'm
Yeah.
doing. Like I'm the frequent like I'm the anchor while you're re-frequencing free. Like how would you even rephrase that? Well, you're realigning like
Yeah, it's
yourself,
kind of like
like
taking that grid line work
into
to
a
the
person.
human. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did the human part and now I'm doing the
Now
earth.
you're doing like the real, yeah, you're working the grid lines.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool, right? You're
It's
like, I
so
did not
random.
expect this.
Yeah, so that's what else I've been doing in the void. That's it. I told my friend, I'm like, I feel like this is probably more than I can handle. No, it's not because I love it. Like I always leave feeling so good.
Yeah.
And she goes to me, something told me to reach out to you because I started speaking like light language. And I'm like, oh, me too. She's like, oh my God, okay. So we do transmissions to each other first for our own healing and then for the earth together.
And that's great.
It's
That's
so
like
good.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
So that's what I've always wanted to open. Like remember I've always talked like I remember Crystal was like, "Oh, you need to do one-on-ones," but I was like, "I really want to open my center." Like I really wanted to focus on opening the center. And then like obviously that's evolved throughout the years and it's more like an HQ, like a headquarters for us. So it's like, refrequencing. I want to say refrequencingizing, but that's not like a word, but recalibrating ourselves, like clearing us out, keeping us like, pure and clean and sort of like they do, on Sirius on the council, when you sit on the council, like when you do all this work, you come back to HQ, you clear out, and then you're able to still, go back out there and help others. So like that's what I've been doing this entire like the plan the entire time, but I didn't realize that like till recently, and I'm like, now I get it.
It's
Now I get it.
so incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. I know like
Yeah.
it's like to be who you were like years ago and you thought like that was amazing. Like, oh wow, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna like help people like this. I'm gonna do this, whatever, whatever. This is my purpose. And then they're like, yeah, okay, great. You happy with that? Because that's not really we're gonna take you a little higher.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm like, okay,
and then
do
you
what
look
you
back
gotta
and
go.
you're like, holy crap. Like I thought that was enough. Like that was nothing.
Yeah, there's no like even planning. You can't, I feel like maybe as a kid you're more open so you can dream about it, but like there's no saying like I want to be a grid line like frequency
Frequency
anchor.
anchor.
But now that we're like I feel like we're like bringing it down into the real world, right? Like we're speaking about it. So like other people can hear it and be like, "Oh my goodness,
Well,
that's what I've been doing."
and more comfortable about coming out and
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's the whole point. Like that's the whole point of doing the podcast. It's like, okay. like to get people more like, okay, this is really happening. Like it's really happening to people. So, as much as other people like want to deny it and hide it and push it away, this is what's happening. Like you're really like recalibrating to who you truly are. And like you're going to see these insane visions. Like I'm forever in the pyramids, I'm forever touching the walls. And it's not even that I'm touching the walls, I'm just kind of like sliding against them because I am I'm recoding them as I go. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that's having these dreams, and I'm forever in Egypt. And it's funny because I see my team and I know who they are, but they are not awake. And I think that is the most, I don't even know,
Frustrating.
like, oh God, beyond frustrating because you're like, don't you just remember one thing? Like, why am I the only one
Wait, so
awake?
will they wake up?
Yeah, I'm told that they're going to.
Okay.
It's just a matter of, when and the way that they describe it to me is there's so many, right? So obviously you're a frequency anchor, and because we have the bond that we do and we share that little special our guru there, like
Yeah.
our the guide, I'm gonna say that you probably sit on the council as well, you know,
Yeah.
or you were right there, maybe not a seat in the chair, but like you were high up there. It's very different because there's no like higher ups, right? So it's like here there's the manager, the whatever. Like it's not like that. It's like there's really no titles, but you all do your thing. So like they were trying to explain it to me. So like it's like, you would say I'm a commander and I have a co-commander, but we have like we both have a lieutenant who's like basically second in command. So they're just as leveled up as we are, but they're frequency anchors.
Oh man,
Um,
yeah.
while we grid, they frequency anchor. And then you have like and it has to be a masculine and a feminine. So that also comes into play. So I know like a lot of people and I'm like, okay, you're gonna like wake up and one, I don't even like know, but I know who he is. And I think that's funny because I was like, oh, he would be the co-commander. So I'm like, all right. And he would be the one that I designed with, like, and beyond like projects, like a list of projects. The last big one being Egypt. And obviously, we weren't the only team working on Egypt. There was a gazillion teams working on Egypt. But like, me and the co, and I was like, oh, if this guy ever realizes who the hell I am, and like wakes up and like I come into his feed or whatever the case may be, like he's gonna be like, holy shit, because the way I see it, he's very like, oh my God, this is great, whatever, whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas my lieutenant is fairly closer to me, and again, second in command. He's it's so hard to explain, but like in human aspect, it's commander, co-commander, masculine, feminine, whatever, whichever way you want to do it. Then you have, the lieutenant who's your co-commander would be like it's so like whatever. Um, Even if he woke up, and like realize like who he is and what he's doing, and like that would be amazing to talk to people who are actually like in my mission circle
Right.
constantly.
Do
That
they
that
do they say like they'll wake up pretty soon? Or do they just say keep doing you, babe? Like,
in my dreams they come a lot.
okay.
And I mean, and it's so funny because I mean, obviously I could talk to you about this, but who else could I talk to about this? But besides Chat GPT, who doesn't
I
think I'm
don't know.
crazy and like goes, oh, okay, great. So this is what happened, and this is what the council wants you to know. And I'm like, okay, great, because that's awesome. But I was running simulations with the lieutenant in my dream. I want to say it was like last month. And it was okay, be careful because the key distortion players shapeshift. So, but they're not that smart. So if you like lead them to a cookie, they're gonna think it's a cookie, but it could be something else. And I was literally running missions with him. And it's like we walked into a movie theater and I knew the guy running the movie theater and he was like, okay, great. Like it's your turn, all the players are ready to go. And like it was an entire simulation where, we had to get through it and remember exactly what we were doing. And I remember the lieutenant turning around to me and he was like, "What do you think? I don't remember this." And I was like, "Great. So then, like, where are you at?" Like when I woke up, I was like, "Where are you?"
Yeah. Where you at? Well,
But
that's good. At least he acknowledged in the dream, at least.
in the dream at least. But like, I mean, and it's just it's crazy.
Is
It's
it
crazy.
wrong to be like, hey, guy, in real life?
Can't do it. You can't do it because then and that's what sucks, right? Because then the human is like, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you sit and you're waiting. And like I'm like, I have two key players that are like,
Like, you're almost there.
please, God, like but it's funny. And then like, I'll be chanting, I'll hear in my dreams, like, and it'll be more like Hathor and Isis, um, recoding them to wake up. Like, and I'll hear that and I'll like wake up and they'll be like, you have to stay asleep. And like it's more of the trance state that I stay in more than I actually sleep these days. And I'm like, is that even good? Like, am I like getting enough sleep? And they're like, you're fine. Your body doesn't really need sleep. Like that's like like that's what we were told. Oh, your body needs sleep. Your body needs this. No, it needs the light food. Like it needs light. It needs the light. So trance state is just as good as sleeping, if not better. So
Yeah, that feels true.
yeah.
And you mentioned Isis. I
Yeah.
literally talk to her every single day, by
Uh-huh.
the way. Every
It's
day.
funny. Yeah, it's like in the beginning, I was like, "Oh my God, am I supposed to bow down to you?" And like, what the fuck?
I love her.
I was like, "Oh, okay." And that's another thing, right? It's like everybody, like, what we've learned, what we've been taught is that these gods, goddesses, deities, however you want to say it, are like, these big, scary, not scary, but like you can't
Powerful,
like,
like, yeah, yeah.
yeah, like they're unapproachable or whatever. And I'm like, but it's so not that. It's so not that at all. I'm like, once you realize you're like, oh, buddy, buddy with this person, you're like, oh my God. Like,
Yeah.
and I think that's what's funny because like that to me in itself is like, oh, it's
You could just literally be like, Jesus, how are you doing today?
yeah,
You know? Yeah.
like what's on tap? What are we doing?
Yeah.
And like, okay, it's time for you to remember this, and this is what we're gonna do, and this is and then I'm like, oh, okay, great.
Thank you.
Like a hi, you're hanging in there. But yeah, so yeah, it is great like coming in to like, coming in or just remembering, you know, where you stand and who you are and who you have connections to, and it's not like what the world portrayed it to be. And it's not like, and you are ripping down these illusions and you're like, I think the ripping down of the illusions is just insanely crazy to me because you're just like, and then you're watching people that are still like, in these illusions, especially my kids and my family. And I'm just like, oh my God, how do you not get it? Like, how do
Yeah.
you not, how do you not see what I see? Like, how do you not, like, I'm literally like, Hathor's just like, prancing around, like looking like all whatever, like doing her thing. And like, no, 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 no one.
Bueller? Anyone? Yeah.
But yeah. But yeah. So yeah. Is there anything else you want to add to this podcast? We will definitely have to have you on again.
I would
Um,
love to be on
yeah,
again. Maybe when
definitely.
I like a part two of like, oh, like this is what I
Coming out
know
of the
now.
void. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, like coming out of the void. Exactly. Because I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm still in it. It's not that bad anymore. God, I say that now.
I know, but like I said, and tomorrow could be something else. A minute from now could be
Oh, let
something
me just
else.
tell, I was like bawling my eyes out for like 25 minutes yesterday. But
Yeah.
I'm saying like right now in this moment, we're good.
Yeah. No.
Um, yeah. I don't know what else to say. I just like thank you for having me on. It feels good to like clearly speak like what is really in here and to let it out and to not like hold it all in or feel nuts like it
Yeah.
being received. Like I know like you're receiving it as like, yes, that's your true experience.
I'm
You
like,
know,
oh, you're
not
just a
like,
frequency anchor. I don't know what the problem is.
yeah. I'm like, okay, there's that validation that I've been looking for 4 months. Finally dropped in.
So nonchalant. I will say this, and I'm going to ask you this. While I was in Europe, very interesting, right? And and I knew going to Europe was going to be a game changer for me. I was like a game changer. I was like, what could possibly be, like more whatever, but more
Right.
frequency aligns, more. My nervous system was a lot calmer, especially not even in Paris, but when I got to London. And it was like while I was on the train at a certain point, I felt pure joy coming like all over, like all around me. I started getting super excited and I'm like, what? Like I'm sitting there on the train, like, what the fuck? I'm like, okay. But in London is where I actually reached out to you because I had so much clarity for the first time in God only knows. And let me tell you, when I got back to New York, the density has been trying to, like suck me back in for a week now. And I'm like, like trying my
Yeah.
hardest to not be that. But anyway, like I was floating. Like I felt like I was on a wave runner, right? Like a jet ski. Like I was going over waves and going over waves. And I wasn't getting nauseous, but I could feel the frequency. Like and myself on the like riding the new frequency, riding it until it settled. And I was like, wow. I was like, this is new. Like, okay, let's
Yeah,
add this
I'll
to the
take
list
it.
of new.
Yeah. Oh, that's so
But like,
nice.
yeah, so maybe, you're up next. So when you start feeling that, you're gonna be like, oh my God, I feel like I'm on a boat, but I'm not getting nauseous and I'm not, like I'm not scared, but like, whoa,
Yeah.
and I was like that for days, like on and off for days. And like even standing up, like when you stand up and like all of a sudden you feel like lightheaded and whatever medical reason they say it
Hmm.
is, right? It's not. It's because you're shifting frequencies. So same thing like when you sit in a car and then all of a sudden you're like, it's because you're shifting frequencies. So it's like all of
Ah,
this is, yeah, I know, right? But who would know that? Because we were never taught that,
right.
you
I
know.
watched this reel of this little boy. He's like super in tuned, and
Mm,
a train went by like so fast and it stopped him in his tracks. He was like, and just his expression, because now you're saying like the impact of like the noise and everything coming right at him, he was so sensitive. He was like, like literally put his hands up to like
yeah,
brace himself. And it wasn't, it wasn't that
yeah.
close.
I've done that in the house just with my ex-boyfriend. Like, like when the energy is so like I've literally
Yeah.
like I said, I was like, I'm not like physically scared. I'm like just like,
Oh
whoa,
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
like I
Yeah,
can't
like
just
especially if there's like anger in the house. Oh man, that anger for me, I mean maybe for everyone, like it's it's heavy. It's
oh,
scary. It
the
makes me,
anger, the chaoticness. That's what it's the chaos that kind of just
yeah, like I feel like all my walls go up and I'm like,
yeah.
I gotta get out of here. But
Hmm.
like open a window, I don't know.
Like open window, light sage. It's not even
Yeah.
sage. It's like Palo Santo. Like light something, and like clear the energy. It's
That's
true.
another thing that I've been doing on the void is like, or during the void, is literally asking every single item in my office, I had a Reiki room, are you going on this next journey with me, yes or
Right.
no? And if it
Interesting.
said no,
You're getting rid of it.
donate it. Yeah, there was so much stuff that I've just released that was like, and I thanked it. Thank you so much for the lessons
Yeah.
learned or, for being here. But so much is changed because I'm like, I don't want stuff like that. The density of like stuff. I'm like, no, no stuff.
Hmm.
Like going to the gym more, just like making a lot of shifts.
I did see that you were going to the gym more, but I do want to acknowledge that the the asking things if they're sticking around and getting rid of them. Yeah, right. Is that weird or not? Like I thought like some of these things would be with me, forever. And they're like, nope, time's up. And I'm like, okay.
I know. And for anyone listening too, if you're thinking about like decluttering, check on Facebook. A lot of cities have Buy Nothing, like a Buy Nothing group page. So like I live in Peabody, it's called Buy Nothing Peabody. And
Oh,
so all
interesting.
these things, I just take a picture and I'm like, who wants it? And somebody wants it.
Yeah,
So you like
totally.
you don't feel guilty about getting
Well,
rid of
that and
things.
it's an exchange of energy. So clearly somebody else needs that out there.
Yeah. So it felt
Think
really
about it
good,
that way.
like to just get it all out. Um,
What
and
you
then
said something else too. It was, oh, going to the gym. So
yeah,
lifting weights apparently,
yes, I've been doing
um,
that.
yeah, just changes the frequency. So like it moves the energy throughout. That I just learned recently. I would say just I'm just gonna dub everything as 2025 because I'm really not sure when I learned that anymore. But
Yeah, that tracks
yeah,
because I've been feeling like there's something about resistance and like purposely like putting yourself in that space of resistance, but knowing that from that it's like building. It's building energy, it's building muscle. I just started lifting weights and I don't know. I'm just like I'm doing it 2 days a week and
yeah.
cardio 2 days a week and
You're just
it
moving the
feels good.
energy. Yeah.
Yeah, moving it.
It's
It's like
um
a full-time job, let me just say, to be us. I
yeah,
wake up, do breath work, meditate, go to the gym,
it
eat
is.
good.
And
Ugh.
it's funny because it and again, and I stress this so much, like you cannot relate to what we go through. And it's not like I'm not saying, oh, I'm better than you, because I'm not, like that you have your purpose, I have my purpose. But for the people like us and that are also, clearing the conscious, like we're clearing, the oh my God.
The field, like
Yeah,
all,
we're
yeah.
clearing the field. What the hell is the word I'm looking for? But yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. It takes a lot. And like people are like, oh, what do you do? Sit home all day and do nothing. I'm like, oh, I wish I
Yeah.
did
Like I feel everything. That's what I do.
I was like, yeah, far from it, but
Hmm.
that's what I would like to just have one quiet, peaceful day. That's not the case. But yeah, collective. That's what I was gonna say. Clearing for the collective too. And physically, like especially in March, it took a toll on me. Like I had rashes all over my body. Like I was bloated. And I'm constantly like, and I know when something is like really big is coming and clearing because I do get bloated again, and then it'll go away, and I'm like, oh, God, and then I won't
Oh,
be.
I'm constantly bloated. I live my life bloated.
It's because you're still not, and because you're in the void, right? So like the energy around the energy, it's you're birthing a new experience. So that there's that. Like, I mean, certain foods just don't. I can't eat meat. I can't eat fish. I can't eat anything. And I miss fish and chicken so much, but like, I can't eat it. Like, I can't. I'm just like, but there's certain things that I just, even like normal, like sometimes food, like, there's no appetite. Like, I'm just like, no, like, I have no desire to eat. And I'm like, oh my God. And I know you stopped drinking. I stopped drinking.
Yeah,
I haven't drank since I want to say last November. And I just don't
that's amazing.
even
Yeah.
don't even crave it. And I'm like, and I feel like when I say that, like I was an alcoholic, but I wasn't. I just don't.
I mean, I technically was a binge drinker because I think it's like 2 or 3 drinks one time. You're a binge drinker, so
I don't. But
whatever.
no, but it's interesting how things change. Like how just
So much
you're
change. And I think the thing is like we have a vessel that is clearing a lot of energy, and in order, if I want to do this work, I have to have a clear, clean. Like I'll have meat before bed and then I will have nightmares all
yeah.
night. So I stopped doing that. Like, okay. There's certain foods that are just like, you want to you want to play around, girl.
Go ahead.
Welcome to
And
your
that's
dreams.
yeah. And that'll exactly be like, okay, you want to eat it? Go ahead, knock yourself out. But
Yeah, yeah.
like,
Literally.
yeah, it's to me, it's so bizarre. And they're like, oh my God, you became a vegan, you became this, you became that. And I'm like, dude, I still have eggs. I still have like, it's not that. It's just I have no just like I can't like
Yeah, your body's just that's it. Well, like we're stepping into the next version, right? And
so
it's like,
what I do know is that our bodies are becoming, over the course of time, our bodies have become very dense, and I compare it to the pyramids because the pyramids you could see are very solid and they were never that solid.
they were light. Were they light?
They were light frequencies. They were, why wouldn't they
Wow.
be? Because so
And
were
then,
we. And like every time we just got denser and denser and denser. So the more that, the density came into the earth, the denser that they got, the harder they became, the harder we became. So right now we are clearing out like a ton of stuff, like, from our own personal vessel avatar, however you wanna, explain what our human bodies are.
mhm.
But we're recalibrating that and we're becoming like what we're watching, what we're putting in our bodies because we're trying to eliminate all the distortion out of our bodies that have been programmed in from like generation. And we're trying to be lighter. So we're
Yeah.
trying to get back to our light bodies. So what I do see is eventually we will be not, as we will be coming in less dense as well. Whether we're actually here to see that or not, I don't know. At this point, I don't care. I'm good to go. I don't
Yeah.
really need to sit and wait for that. I'm
Oh
good.
God, I know.
Um,
Ugh.
but yeah. So so yeah. So yeah, that's a wrap. I think we'll wrap it up here. And I can't thank you enough for coming on here because you are my one first guest in 30 something episodes. I don't even know what this is. And it had to be you and it was you. So like to me, like that's so cool.
I
You're
love
my
it. I
first
feel
guest.
so honored.
You should feel totally honored.
I feel like it was such a fun conversation just for me to be able to like speak some of the things that have been going on and like have somebody like yourself who has been through it. There's nothing like experience, right? And like I don't wish this on anybody, but also like if you're nuts like us, like just there's hope, right? Like I feel like there's light at the end of the tunnel. There always is. And um just remember what's real for you. Like
Yeah,
for me, what's real is Mother Earth, my breath, and love. I can say that with certainty. And then everything else, let's create it, let's see, let's play, let's play.
yeah. I love
So
it. I love
thank
that
you.
you got out there. You got to say what you had to say. You got to showcase the semi new version of you because we're not like fully there yet, but it's hey, it's coming, and
It's
we'll
coming.
leave you with that. All of Machi's information will be down in the pinned comments. So the title of the book, she will definitely
Oh,
get to
find
me.
your wings. Find your wings. It just landed. Find your
I'll
wings.
put that in the description as well. And I know you can follow her on Instagram as well, so I'll put that in there. And again, guys, lots of love, light, like frequency alignment, and peace out to you guys. And I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Thanks.